Okay, I'm kind of making my first little unboxing video. If you see a cat running around, he's trapped. But this is really for my son Jake and my dad. A little background. What I did is I had wanted to get a Kimber. I have a friend of mine who really impressed with Kimber, and he's been talking to me a lot about them, and he owns a gun shop. So I was really interested in getting one, but I didn't want to just put out all the money and just add another gun to my collection. So I was studying and thinking about my collection the other day, and I thought, what gun really don't I use much? And so what I ended up determining was I had a 9mm 1911 full size that really had been sitting in the in my safe for about a year and a half without being used. I had a little bit of trouble with it early on until it was broke in, and I played around with springs, but it just didn't impress me. So what I did was I sold that. I went down to a gun shop in west of here, down in a town called Gouverneur, and just asked the guy what he might want to give it for me, and he gave me a great price, more than what I paid for it, and I did have some upgrades. So then I went back to my friend's house, who owns Bear Rock Sports, and we looked through his, suppliers, and we decided on this little thing right here. And so we're going to do a little unboxing, and then I hope to make a shooting video. I'm going to kind of tear it apart a little bit here in a while, and I'm going to see about shooting it. We're going to clean it, then we're going to go shoot it and stuff like that. So I just want to open it up, and so this is an unboxing. I did see it, of course, when it first came in because I had to fill out the paperwork. But we're going to do this just like I never seen it. So here it is. It just comes in this little box. Kimber. Kimber is originally from, I think, Oregon, but today resides in Yonkers, New York. And it specializes in 1911 pistols. And this is a 19-like pistol. So I got this Kimber in this box. So we're going to open it up right now. So when you open that up, the first thing you just see right here is, of course, this little case that it comes in. So we're going to put that off to the side, and we're just going to look at what comes in the box. Of course, you get a flag. That's a range flag. And then you get, of course, your trusty lock, which now I have many, many locks. And then inside this little bag, well, you have a sticker, a Kimber sticker that will go on my my ammo storage locker. And then we get the Kimber, Micro 9, the book, which is what it is. And we'll bring the gun out in just a second. And then you get, maybe if you want to buy something from their pro shop, you get a little discount. And of course you get a warranty card, and then a card from the place that I bought it from. Or this is actually a boot campaign. This is, I want you to buy Kimber boots. And I'm probably not going to do it. And Jasper, if you see him running in the background, he's just interested. So that's what comes in the box. So we're going to put that off to the side. And now we're going to get to the good stuff. So here it has this rug, is really what it is. I won't store it in this, but I might use it if I go, once in a while or whatever. I'm not real sure. But let's open it up and get a look at the gun. So here it is. This is how it comes, wrapped, in this plastic bag. And let's open it up. And there is the gun. So it comes with just one mag, though I do have one on order that should be here today. As you can see, we're going to safety check it. There is a 7-round magazine. We're going to open it up. It's pretty tight, and they're known for their tight tolerance. But here it is. It's got a 3.15-inch barrel. I think the thing is like just under 5 inches or 4 inches high, something like that, 6 inches long. It has a 1911 style trigger and a safety here. It's not a cocked and, it's a cocked and locked safety is kind of really what it is. And as you see, the trigger is now dead. 3-dot sights. This is a 2-tone rosewood grips, which I really loved. And it's just covered in oil right now. So I'm going to clean it up, and then I'm going to go out and shoot it in a little while. But here it is. And it's got, so I ordered another magazine exactly like this one. So in a moment, I'm going to stop it here and see if I can get these kitties out. And then I'm going to reposition the camera and try to break it down a little easier to clean it, so it looks like it's maybe a little bit farther away. So why don't we hold up for a minute and we're going to give it a try, and I'll be back in a few. Well, I just got back from shooting it. I know I got a lot of work with these little movies I'm making to make sure everything makes sense, but just got back from shooting it. Showed you the unboxing a little while ago, so I got to clear the gun. So what I got in there right now is I got 7 and 1. So the way it's configured here right now, it's 7.1, so 8 rounds. And then I'm going to want to take these out because I'll wipe down the magazine well after 100 rounds. And actually it performed really, really well. I used a lot of different ammo. I shot 115 grain arms core ammo, which is kind of dirty. I had some Remington Red Box. I shot some of those, which is kind of dirty, 115 grain. But then I used some 147 grain subsonic 9mm Winchester White Box, and it wonderfully shot those as well. And I shot some hand load 115 grain hollow points, and everything performed flawlessly with this gun. So I was really, really impressed with it. So what I'm gonna try to do then, right now, is disassemble the gun. It's new. It's a little difficult to do. It's a new type of gun for me. So just kind of the way this works, it's kind of like a 1911, but it's a little different as well. So if we just have a little patience, so what you got to do is you got to pull. I think it's easier to cock it. So you pull the slide back to where you're something like this. Then you turn it over, and you can get it started. As long as you got this thing lined up just right, you can get it started and punch it out. And there it is. Now it's pretty easy. Now everything should just slide right off. It's a little difficult to get back together, but I think it, just like anything, like my old Beretta and any 1911, once you get used to how the gun works, they just get easier and easier. And so what I'm going to do now is just clean it, and you can watch how it works if you're interested. You guys might not be interested in watching this video, but I'm going to keep it, for myself. So what I really like to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the barrel. And I do it a couple of different ways. I'm going to just hard wipe all the, dry wipe, all of the dirt off it, right now, just the little bit of dirt. Then I use a nylon bore brush. I just like them better. And I just kind of hit it like this, just to kind of begin the process of breaking things up. Then I'll dip it in solvent hoppy. Since it's new, I'm going to use hoppies, at least for this little one. And then I'll run it through. And as you can see, it looks pretty dirty, but that's not the half of it yet, because now I'll hit it again. And I'll run it through, like to really brush it well. And then here we go, and watch this. Look at that. And I'll try to, I don't go nuts with it, but I do try to get it, pretty darn clean. And so then I'm going to soak another one in hoppies. I'm almost out of it, but I should have enough for today. And what I use is 115 or 1.5 inch squared patches that I just buy at Walmart. I like using cloth patches the best. Not very expensive. And you just want to be liberal with them. So as you can see, look at there. Now it's starting to look pretty good. And I'll run it in a few more times. And then, you can't be afraid of getting this junk all over you. And I just start, wiping it down. It's got a beautiful, I don't know if you can see it, but a beautiful big polished feed ramp, which is good. A lot of things like Glocks don't even feed theirs, but I guess, they run or polish their feed ramps. But then again, one thing they always say about Glocks, they never fail, and I've found that to be the case, I think. And you know, since I've had 3 Glocks since 2014 with thousands of rounds through them. And I've had 3 failure, I believe, to either eject or feed. Never had a double feed. Never had anything that would really be considered a jam. Just like a failure to eject or a failure to feed in. And a simple rack of the slide, and it was all taken care of. So here we go. It is starting to look pretty clean. It's a, you know, the barrel is, you know, pretty finely made. I gotta admit. I mean, it's just a stainless steel barrel. It's not a, you know, it's not. I don't think it's hammer forged or anything like that. It's just a stainless steel barrel. But they, you know, stainless steel barrels. That's what Glock usually uses, and you know, some of the other ones are different. H&K and uses a hammer forged method. CZ does. Smith & Wesson, I think, uses stainless steel. So you can't really beat a stainless steel. So I'm just gonna look for it. It really looks nice and clean in there. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of this Remington oil, and this Lucas oil. I really like this stuff. And I'm just going to run it down through the barrel real quick. Then I'm going to set it off to the side. One thing I forgot to get out is some bore grease. I like to grease the top of the slide, but there's no paint on this, so it might not really be necessary. Probably just oil can work. And then we're just going to clean the barrel some more. Just make sure everything. This is its first cleaning, you know. It's a brand new gun, 100 rounds through it. Picked it up this morning from Bear Rock. And I hope you don't mind me talking through this, but this is like my first video. So anyway, so we'll put that there. Then I usually like to go to the slide, and I'll use some more. Just dip my brush in there, and then I just clean the heck out of the slide. Just scrub it down. Get in behind the ejector. Now this has an internal ejector. A little more difficult to get into, but it's not too bad. I'm just going to scrub everything down. And I'm just simply going to take this microfiber cloth, which are my favorites to use, and I'm just going to dry it up. Just all I'm going to do. Just hope you can see it. I hope I'm not getting it out of focus too much there. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. I think you can. I'm just going to make sure the slide is nice and clean. Everything looks pretty nice down in there. Just got to get a little deeper. Take my punch, my little Glock tool, and just run it down in there to just get whatever crud might be left in there. And there we go. And really now, this is pretty much done. I'm going to run a patch through the end of the slide where the barrel goes through, just to clean any solvent or oil that I might have in there. And I kind of leave this area pretty dry, you know, get something in there if I can. But I don't really get a ton of oil in there. I know that 1911s like things to be a little wetter. I understand that. But once I get some grease in there. So now I'm going to just put that off to the side as well, and take my brush one more time, and I'm just going to scrub the heck out of the frame. I screwed up there when I first got it, and I wasn't really understanding where I was supposed to be, you know, running, how I was supposed to be putting the slide stop back in. And I took the safety spring out by accident and all that, but I did finally get it all put back together correctly. And now I'm just simply going to try to wipe all this out. And I'm going to probably get out of view here in a minute, because I'm going to get I need to get some boar butter, actually. It's kind of this Teflon coated stuff I like to put on the barrel and the outside of the barrel. as you can see, I think you can see it's cleaning up, you know, pretty darn nice here. It's a nice gun. It's going to be a beauty, I think. And like I said, I didn't have any issues with it. And, you know, you read everybody's different, you know, some people say they have trouble with them. But, you know, but every gun is like that. I find that if you know how to shoot a pistol, if you really know how to shoot a pistol and care for a pistol, very seldom will you have issues. And if you do, you can usually figure out it's something that you're doing and not necessarily the gun's fault. I've really found that to be the case with me. Every time I've had some kind of issues, it's usually been, you know, my fault. So, now I just want to wipe down this new magazine. I got another magazine that should be here in a little while. It's coming in the mail today. It's out for delivery. And so, then I'll have two. When I ordered this, Scott thought it came with two, but I had never, you know, I did a lot of research and I never seen anywhere where any of them came with two. So, anyway, I hope this turns out to be interesting. I'm going to certainly take a little time and edit it. I'm not going to have the whole thing, but I want to try to get you guys, you know, Jake, you and Dad, a good idea about this little gun. I mean, I never was really too interested in a Kimber, to tell you the truth, until, you know, my buddy Scott was really talking him up, and really he just loves these things. And so I think if it was me, if I could complain something about this gun, I would complain that the guide rod isn't captured, that the spring is not captured on. I just think to go like that, to leave that uncaptured, you know, flat spring like that is, I don't know, there's just better options in my opinion. But so now what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to use some of this 110 oil here to run in the slide. This, I guess, usually Kimber includes this kind of oil in with the gun. You get a little package of it, but I don't know, my gun didn't have it in there. But it's fine because Scott gave me a bunch of the stuff. And so I like to put that just on the rails. And then I take this stuff here. And now I've had this for 6 years, and it's finally starting to get wore out. And I just put a little bit on where the, you know, where the lockup hits. Then I'll put a little just on the rails. I don't want to put a ton, just a little bit, you know, especially that the gun is new. And then I put it down in here, just, I think, for barrel wear, you know. So it helps keep, you know, things from getting marred up too much. But because it's stainless steel, I mean, you know, I guess it's going to get marred up. There's probably not a lot I can do about it. All right, so then I simply just put it back in, take the spring. Now, this is a little tricky, so it might take me a few times. It's not the easiest gun to work on. It's until you learn how. I mean, it will get easier. The first time is always the worst. At least I've done it once so far, and was able to get it in. But bear with me while I get this flat recoil spring is the issue. There, and then it's seated. All right, so now we got it seated in there. Now here's where you got to pay attention. It's a little difficult. See that little tongue there? That has, when we get, that's going to be pressed down when I get it there. But first thing, what we need to do is begin to see it sliding. Now I press this down, and once, it's a little tricky, but once we get it to go past, once we get it to go past, that's the hard, so bear with me. I'm just learning how, there. Now, another tricky spot is, got to make sure that as we do this, I don't go too far with the barrel. So I start right there. I got to make sure there's a hole in there. So there it is. So I got to get it started first. I should have a headlamp on, but of course I didn't. Okay, now I pull it back to that little spot right there. And there, praise the Lord, we did it. Look at that. Now she's all back together. Safety down. There it is. So that's really basically how you clean the Kimber. And now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this little rag and I'm going to use what I like to use on the exterior of the guns is this ballistol. This is some good stuff. Old buddy Hickok 45 there on YouTube, he likens it to like when you use this stuff, it kind of does like when you season a frying pan, you know, it just kind of helps season it, and it like seeps into the steel and just helps it wear and I don't know, just keeps it in good shape. And I kind of agree with him. I've been using it now for years and years, a lot of years. And there it is. So that's really the pistol now, and then we slide the magazine in, lock it back, and now what I'll do, you know, so I shot it, you know, 100 times today. I'll probably shoot it tomorrow again, maybe another 100 times. I'm not real sure, but to get it broke in, and then everything should start loosening up on this. But it's a beautiful little gun, rosewood grips. The tolerances are tight, and the trigger is a little heavier than what I would have expected on a 1911 type gun. But again, this is a little different. It's not a true 1911. It's got about a 7-pound trigger, I guess. I don't have a scale. I'm going to get one day. But there it is. I just thought, you know, you guys, I would show this to you, show you how I clean it, talk a little bit about it, and then now I got to figure out how to edit the video. All right, I love you guys. Have a good day.